Hey, what's good, fam? We're on the road this week. We're in the land of Disney. So let's do a podcast. Today we had Joe Sullivan, and it was awesome. We talked about his fitness journey. He gets really personal with that. We also talked about, obviously, how he got involved in being a catcher in Power Slap. I mean, what a unique job, am I right? And we get into some relationship stuff as well. But overall, man, we just kind of shot the breeze, had a good conversation. And I need to tell you, if any of you listening to this or watching is interested in having Joe help you out with your fitness or lifestyle when it comes to health, DM him the word podcast and he'll get the ball rolling. So podcast, DM Joe Sullivan _AOD on Instagram. And yeah, he'll get you moving. Anyway, hope you enjoy it, fam. Always remember 3, 2, 1. That's a knock.
3, 2, 1, yeah, that's a knockout. They call me kamikaze, put you in heaven's lobby. On gas, no brakes, you can never stop me. Nah, no, you can never stop me. Yeah, cause I'm the power slap king. Slap some, baby!
Hey, what's up, fam? Man, we might be on the road, but we got a special guest in the building. Joe, if you're ready, we'll just get into it, brother.
Hey, dude, ready to rock and roll. Let's do it.
I love it. Welcome to Slap Son. We got the man in the building, Joe and Joe. Catch me outside if you can, motherfucker. We got Joe Sullivan in the building. The man's ass is concrete. The man's brain is significant, and he will not let you fall. Everybody, Joe Sullivan.
What's up, Joe? How are you, bro?
Dude, I'm good now, man. I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm good, man. And I had to laugh. I told everybody about this when we were over in Abu Dhabi. I found the Reddit of Power Slap, like the Power Slap subreddit. And the first thing that I saw on there was those motherfuckers talking about my fucking head size. And I lost my shit because they're like, this man's been training his cranium since day one. He's never going to have to worry about CTE or anything. And I'm like, oh, thanks, guys, you fucking idiots.
You fucking morons, dude.
Yeah, I love it. It's whatever though, dude. Thank you for having me on. We've been, for everybody listening, we've been talking about doing this for a little while, and I've been traveling so much, and then I just got over being sick. It's everybody's same experience during the holiday season, but finally managed to line it up. So I'm glad to be here.
No, man, I appreciate it. I have learned a lot since doing the podcast thing that people don't understand the logistics of just setting up a time. It's kind of tough.
Dude, it's crazy. I told Joe off air, like, so much of my work, because I'm like, if anybody follows me on social media, like, I'm what you could call a fucking influencer or whatever, and I do a lot of consultation calls. Bro, I know. I hate the internet, but I fucking love the internet because it allows me to, like, run my business the way that I want to, but it's also like I have like 3 screens here and I'm on my fucking phone, and it's nuts, man. The hardest thing these days is literally to get somebody to stick to a fucking appointment. And I'm like, hey, here's a Calendly, like, don't respond. Hey, here's like, am I good to go? And they're like, yeah, we're good to go. And then 50 minutes, oh, I forgot about it. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, guys?
It's so true, man. But, you keep persistent, you keep doing it right, and here we are.
Hey.
And, dude, obviously, I got to know who you are. Not a whole lot about you because I just see your face and then go to an Instagram profile and things like that. But I obviously got to know who you are through Power Slap, and we'll get there. But I do want to talk about your fitness journey. So I'm an old head, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I have been in 3 bodybuilding contests, and then I went to
sick.
Yeah, dude. And then I went to strongman, and I fucking broke my back. So not like obviously in a wheelchair break, but yeah, I tweaked some stuff, had to have some surgery. But I want to start with the fitness journey because I'm such a nerd about that. And let's speak to the old guys first. I'm 44. I'm like 205, 199, right in that range. How does a guy that's getting older in years, and you can include TRT in this, I'm looking at getting back on it. I haven't been on it in about 7 months, something like that, because I wanted to feel the difference, like actually pay attention. But dude, let's start there. Let's have some fun. How would you, a guy that's getting up there in age, maybe has that 9 to 5 job, maybe his hobby is just video games, so he's not very active. Like, where should he start? What can he do to shed those pounds? Because the new year's coming. You know what I mean?
Dude, so that's what's unique about me, because like I started powerlifting in 2007, like forever ago. So I've been doing the whole thing like over half my life. It's always been part of my life. But the reason that I started in 2007, I was 310 pounds when I was 14 years old. So and untrained. I was like, my hobby was RuneScape and Lord of the Rings Two Towers on the original PlayStation, if you remember that.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
all I did, and El Monterey frozen taquitos. So, like, I've seen every end of the spectrum, and what I do now is, like, 'cause I compete, I'm my own athlete, but I coach people from, like, 14 years old to 67 years old. Like, I coach my wife, Briani. I coach my father-in-law, who's, like, 53 years old, former Navy, had the same experience that you were just saying, where it's like he was into fitness, had a bunch of injuries, got like off of everything, fell off the wagon, and it's very, very hard to get back on because you've lived your own experience, he's lived his own experience. And anybody listening to this, if you're in that bracket, the worst thing that you can do is compare yourself in the present to where you were previously, because it's
Mm.
not a matter of like everybody says comparison is the thief of joy, but it's also the thief of progress. Because if you constantly look at where you were, you have to understand that's not where you are right now. And just because it's not where you are right now doesn't mean that it isn't where you can be, but you have to revert your perspective back to more of a beginner's mindset. And you're saying, guy with a 9 to 5, like I make my schedule. I'm fortunate enough that I'm like, I'm very, very busy, but I can choose when I'm busy because I own my own business. I run my own stuff. Obviously, I work with Power Slap, but that's an evening or a week traveling or whatever. I can move my life around to cater to this. The best advice that I can give to somebody is if they work a 9 to 5 or they have obligations, is if your health is an obligation, which it should be, because it's very easy for people to say, I'd die for my family. Super easy. It's very easy to die. People die every day. It's
Yeah.
very difficult to live well for your family, because you're not gonna be worried about, like, falling on a sword or taking a bullet for your kids when you're 65 years old and you have a massive heart attack and fucking die, and then you can't see your grandkids grow up. It's very difficult to live every day, but if your goal, your priority is to do so, treat it as an obligation. And what I mean by that is like one of the best things that I do when I'm super busy, because I'm not like I broke all the world records. Like I was best in the world in powerlifting. I fucking suck at bodybuilding. I'm not the greatest. I'm good,
And there is a
but I'm not.
difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna be like the best in the world, and I know that just from a genetic standpoint and a time standpoint, but treat it as an obligation. So if you're the type of person who you have a job that you have to get done to pay the bills for your family, you have to take care of your kids, you have to do those things. Guess what? Sometimes you may have to do something initially that is a little bit uncomfortable to set yourself up for better success in the future. Like what I tell most of my clients who are in this position, you are going to be a morning workout guy. I don't care if you've never been a morning workout guy in your life, but guess how you can force yourself to have this be a priority? Front load your obligations. Get it done in the fucking morning. Proper preparation is going to set you up better than playing catch up in every other capacity. So if you train in the morning, just get it out of the way, because I don't want to say it's easy, but it's a lot more manageable to fit like three full body hard training days with a little bit of cardio every week. You can absolutely wake up 90 minutes earlier to make that happen. I'm 100%
Yeah.
confident that everybody listening to this could wake up 90 minutes earlier, go to Planet Fitness and make that happen. If you're in
Dude,
that
what do you think it
context,
is?
it's
Sorry, just real quick. What do you think it is, man,
yeah.
that including myself, what is it about waking up early that just is so hard, man? I don't understand it. Cause like it's not like I mean, I'm a bit of a night owl, so I do go to bed at 1 or 2 in the morning or whatever. But even that,
Mhm.
I think you're right. But why do you think the psyche or that mental hurdle or whatever that seems to be outside of diet? That seems to be the biggest hurdle for people is to just get their ass out of bed and get moving. Why do you think that is, man?
Dude, well, there's multifaceted answer because it's all it's could be because of the bedtime if you're going to bed too late, like because with if I'm talking to you, Joe, or the guy in like the 40-50-year-old age bracket trying to just be healthy and live their lives well, it's the foundational elements, and without the foundation nothing else can come after. That's proper sleep, adequate nutrition. You don't have to be perfect, you can still have a couple beers. It's just like be eating like an adult, basically doing the bare minimum when it comes to like fitness. And if you don't have like those foundational elements, or if you only have one or two of those foundational elements, all of the others are going to be much more difficult to put into place. Because if you're going to bed at 1 and 2, of course it's going to be fucking hard to wake up at like 4:35 to do to get to the gym to do the thing, you know. But it's about giving yourself like, oh man, what is it? It's a philosophical concept. I can't remember. I'm a fucking nerd, and I like, you see the size of my head. I have a lot of shit up here, but there's this philosophical concept. I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's about like giving yourself rules because you know that you can't trust yourself to operate freely. So it's the old story was like some guy like tied himself to a pole while he was like traveling across this particular sea because there were sirens, and he like tied himself to it because he knew if he heard the siren song he would crash his boat. And it's like it's putting parameters around yourself so that you can't do anything otherwise. So if you say like, okay, I struggle to get out of bed. If the bottom line is struggling to get out of bed and that's the first step that you're taking, prevent yourself the opportunity or the option to not get out of bed. Set your phone alarm, but put it across the room or something. Set your phone alarm, set like as soon as leave, when you go to bed, make a cup of coffee or make an iced coffee or make a pre-workout or an energy drink or something. As soon as you wake up, fucking chug the bitch. Like as soon as you wake up, splash cold water on your face. Literally, like it's preventing yourself any other opportunity. Like, and this is not. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I'm not a psychologist. I am not, or whatever, psychiatrist. I'm not saying that this is like healthy or the most organized way to do things. But when I was in bodybuilding prep, like Joe, I didn't know you did preps. That's fucking awesome. That's cool. It's like you have a unique perspective, seeing that shit as well. But like when I was on low calories after having plain chicken, plain beef, plain rice bullshit for 8 weeks going into the show, like just dying, there was a period of time where I looked into the pantry and there was a container of peanut butter, and I opened it up, looked at it, and I poured fucking soap in it because I had to kill the option to consume that because I couldn't trust myself to not do it. And it's like, that's crazy psycho person shit. But it's the same principle as what I'm saying here. Set parameters around yourself so the only option is success. Because if it's important to you, the only option should be success.
Very good, man. Very well stated. It's funny. It made me think. So I did 3 contests for bodybuilding, and I trophied in second place the last 2, but I only got those trophies because in those last 2 events, I shit you not, there was only 3 of us that ended up actually entering. So in that sport, a lot of guys, as you know, they kind of get shy or chicken out or whatever. So they sign up to do it, but then they don't do it. So just know that I wasn't like, I'm not saying I didn't earn it, but I am saying the odds of me getting on the podium were pretty high. But one thing you mentioned that I think is, yeah, I appreciate that, man. But it was weird for me because you're right. You know, back in the day, it was fucking, muscle and fitness or flex or whatever. And you kind of got your information that way. And so I was doing the plain chicken, protein shakes, creatine, all this stuff. And for my first contest. And I think it's important for people to know that no matter what your fitness goals are, no matter what you're prepping to look like or hope to look like, you got to figure out your body. So that first contest I did, I was so dialed in. I, didn't know what I was doing, but I felt like I was doing it right. Do the prejudging. I go home. I was so distraught. I don't know. I was kind of embarrassed and kind of being hard on myself or whatever. And so I just thought, okay, fuck it. I'll eat all the Reese's peanut butter cups that are in the pantry. And dude, Joe, that night when the winners basically already decided, right, in the prejudging, I went on stage that night. Dude, I looked so much better after eating all this garbage. And that's because my body had a different reaction than I thought it would. So I think part of setting yourself up so you have these rules so you don't fail. Put that phone across the bedroom when the alarm goes off. You also should be okay with yourself trying out different ways of diet. You know what I mean? To really figure out because every body is different. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, dude. And like that's I have my education in exercise science and exercise physiology, but like I've been doing this stuff long enough because I've been coaching people for over 15 years now. And like the rule the as soon as you know the rules as best you need to is when you can break those very same rules. Because just because something is like optimal optimal or perfect doesn't mean that it's optimal or perfect for you or for anybody that I talk to. Because like I know calorie counting and like meal planning and macro planning, like that's the most guaranteed way to achieve a body composition goal, whether it's fat loss or muscle gain. Is that feasible for somebody who's working a 9 to 5 job Monday through Friday and taking care of 3 kids and a wife and blah, blah, blah? I don't know. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But
Yeah.
you have to be willing to kind of think outside the box and make a reality out of what is possible and what's optimal for you. You know, if that means like incorporating some type, like Kerry Hatley, like he and I have
Yeah.
talked about, he and I have talked repeatedly about like his method of dieting because he's big into and intermittent fasting and very not paleo but more towards like the naturalistic way of doing things. And there's a lot of people who have like the scientific backgrounds like I do where they're like, oh, that's fucking dumb, it'll never work, blah blah blah. But it's like if that works for you and you're fucking healthy, fuck yeah, dude, I don't give a fuck
Yeah.
what you
I
do.
love that.
It's like if somebody prefers to eat this way, if they want to do a keto approach, if they want to do high fat, low carb, or if they start to really enjoy the training and they're like, oh, I need more carbohydrates for more energy, let's look into carb cycling stuff, whatever. It's like that's where understanding that like what got you to where your life is now, where you might be like unhealthy, unhappy, not what you want to look like or where you want to feel, what you want to feel like or where you want to be. What got you there isn't going to get you to your goals, but what got you to your goals, Joe, when you competed 5, 10 years ago, what got you to those goals might not be what you need right now to get you to the goals where you are. That's been a huge thing that I've had to change in my approach, because when I was in powerlifting and squatting 800 pounds, deadlifting 800 pounds, bench pressing 500 pounds,
Jeez.
I had to, I had to do whatever I had to do to get a lot of the calories down. I was eating like Sour Patch Kids. I was drinking like a liter of fruit juice every day with like a half gallon of milk, like just random, like Wendy's post workout, just like random as much as I can bullshit in order to just be as big and strong as possible. Pivot that entire approach as I get into my 30s, when I have to start thinking about whole food sources and my gut is starting to get like I can't eat the way that I used to. And then double that even more so as I pivot into bodybuilding, and it's more contingent on the inflammatory responses of food and blah, just all that stuff.
Water
I could never
retention.
say this is the yeah, you can never say this is the only way or the best way to do it, because the human body and the human physiology, we're constantly changing, adapting, not evolving, but just depending on the context, it's always different. So it's just about what works for you. And that's why I think I'm not I'm not like pitching my coaching or like why like everybody needs an online coach or whatever. But it's like that's why it's really valuable to have somebody, whether it's somebody finds like a personal trainer or someone that they can just have a conversation like this with, because you go online and all people see, especially with my like the social media influencer shit, everybody sees the post where it's like, this is the only way to do it.
Right.
Red meat's gonna kill
Right.
you. Carbs are gonna kill you. Blah. And it's like, no, 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 no. Much more individual context out there required. So it's just valuable to be able to like talk to people about this type of stuff, you know?
Yeah, dude, 100%. It makes me think that for whatever reason, it's like, I don't want to be too, you know, dramatic, but like telling someone what they should eat and how they should move their body and, things like that, it really is kind of like telling someone that their religion's wrong. Like, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
people are so sensitive and they're so like, and I wish it wasn't that way because, bro, my wife can attest to this. I'm so hard on me, man. I look in the mirror, like, I'm all about fat shaming. Like, I think it works. Like, I just say, go for it. So, like, if I'm out of shape and I'm eating all this shit, I'm the first one to vocalize, dude, I'm getting fucking pudgy, and I'm really honest about it. And I think, I look around and I see guys, and you'll say this too when you get to be my age, but I see guys that are, you know, they're young, they're 21 and 28 or whatever, and they don't understand that it actually is a gift. And so to get offended, especially when you're younger, is such the wrong approach because once you get to where you need to be, you can look back, bro, and say, "Oh, that was only 6 weeks of my life. Like,
Mhm.
look how good I look. Look how I smile and look how great I feel." And I think getting to be honest with yourself and not looking at these online posts that are like, you got to do, meat only, you've got to do carbs only, you've got to have this regimen. I think that's wrong. I was listening to a clip with my boy Method Man, and he was like, I started going to the gym at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. You might have seen the clip. And he's just like, look, I'm this old guy, and I just thought, hey, let's give this gym membership a try. And he starts walking at 3 in the morning, just walking on a treadmill. And this
Mhm.
guy, because he started to be honest, he's like, next thing you know, I was jogging on that bitch. And then I started to look at the weight rack. It's like these little itty bitty baby steps. And so I love that you're honest and say that like, hey, it's not about this way. It's about what finding your way is, you know?
Yep, dude, absolutely, and that's why I said Planet Fitness earlier, like, so many people in my space where they're, like, the big jacked guys or, like, they got the world records or they bend bars or it's fucking strong, blah, 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 strong and big, whatever. So many of those guys are like, "Oh, Planet Fitness is fucking gay," and, like, "I don't go to those gyms," and, like, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, dude, if you are just a normal dude or you've never done this or you've fallen off, I could give two shits about where you end up going. It's just about doing something. Walk outside, do some push ups, sit ups, air squats. You do 100 of those every day and walk for 60 minutes, and you're going to be better off than you. That free workout program right there. If you do that 3 times a week and you've never done anything else, I can guarantee you guaranteed 12 weeks of 3 times per week, 100 air squats, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, walk for 60 minutes. You will improve your body composition, you will improve your health, and you will feel better about yourself. I swear to fucking God. And that you don't even need a weight room. So it's like I love that, dude. It's like I've always had to have that more realistic perspective just because I was so big as a kid and I was so insecure and like I still have stretch marks and stuff. It's like one of the things that I was like most proud of on my like one of the professional stage shots I was in a front double bicep and I'm shredded like I got basically like 3 or 4% body fat or whatever. I was very, very lean, but I still had these stretch marks up my stomach. And I saw that in that photo and I'm like, that's fucking cool, man. Cause there's a lot of people that like see that and are insecure about it. And in my past, I have been insecure about it, but I look at it and I'm like, that's just a testament to where I was previously, and what got me here.
It's powerful for you to be that honest because I don't know what it is, and I can totally include myself in this, but I don't know what it is, but we're just so fucking hard on ourselves. And it doesn't matter. Like, are you a better version of yourself today than you were yesterday? And for you to proudly stand up there, do the front double bicep, right? And you're seeing the marks. And for you to say, yeah, hell yeah, that's me. I did that instead of, you know, nitpick at something that you can't totally control. Dude, beautiful. I just want to say I love that you can put it in that light.
Yeah, thank you, man. And it's true because like one of the most powerful things that I've ever kind of like internalized or like just taken to heart, and it's this like phrase or question that I kind of ask myself, even in times because like I'm post powerlifting career. I've moved on from that athletic journey in my life, and that was my identity. Like I struggle with releasing that aspect, but a big thing that I fell upon and kind of repeated to myself over the course of like my venture in the first time into bodybuilding and then beyond that is simply asking like, are the decisions that I'm going to make me are the decisions that I'm going to make today something that I'll be proud of tomorrow? If I can
Yeah.
say yes to that, if I can say yes to that, I don't have any regrets. I don't have any worry because that is all I have to really rely upon.
I love that, man. I love that. It really does. There's a famous clip of Joe Rogan where he's basically he says, fuck your motivation. I want discipline. And I think that goes along with what you're saying. Like, for whatever reason, we love the dopamine of like, the clip or the movie or the song or whatever to like, yeah. But then guess what? That clip ends, the movie ends, the fucking song goes away, and you gotta say you gotta do what you're saying, which is if I can make this decision knowing I'm gonna feel better about myself the next day, it's huge, man. You just gotta be that consistent little, pardon the expression, but you just gotta be that consistent bitch, man. It just keeps showing up and going and going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I got 2 things because I know you mentioned, like, getting into some of my background, and I wanted to touch on this because this fits perfectly because I started powerlifting in 2007. I'd been doing it for, like, over a decade up until 2000, and before I tell that story, have you ever heard of again, like, philosophical concept. I'm sorry, it's all I fucking do, but have you heard of Sisyphus? Have you ever heard of that? The
No,
myth
is
of
that the
Sisyphus?
boulder?
It's the boulder, yes. The guy who tried to steal from the gods, and they condemned him to roll a boulder up this hill, up this mountain for eternity. And every time he rolled the boulder, he would get it almost to the top, and it would crush him, roll back down, roll all the way to the bottom, and he had to restart his journey every day. I have always That's always resonated very, very deeply with me for a lot of reasons because I experienced homelessness when I was a child, extreme poverty. Like my mom was incredibly sick. My dad busted his ass. Like my dad is my role model because he gave his whole of everything to put me where I was supposed to be. And I can never thank him enough for that. But it's always resonated with me, and I carried that even into my own like adult journey as a power lifter because people listening to this and you, Joe, I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen the bar bend clip
I have.
of me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that viral video in 2018, I was warming up for a set of 700-pound squats. It was 675 pounds. The bar had a mechanical failure, and it literally bent around my neck, but it bent to a point, like a teepee, rather than like a rainbow. That teepee, that pyramid, like that triangle point, that put all the a single point of pressure on my neck, and it caused me to herniate my C6, C7 discs, which then went on to cause a compression injury of my dorsal scapular nerve and my thoracodorsal nerves, which ultimately resulted in my loss of function of my left arm and some of the muscles on the left side of my body. My lat, my pec, and my tricep literally completely atrophied for 2 years. My bench press went from 575 pounds to being unable to lock out 225 pounds on my left side. So I've been gifted with this forced perspective throughout the entirety of my career because even at that moment I was at a fork in the road where I'm like, do I retire and ride off into the sunset? Because I was pretty good. I was pretty good. I won a national championship. I competed in a couple professional meets. People knew who Joe Sullivan powerlifter was, and it was like he's good at what he does. But I felt as though I had unfinished business. I was on the cusp of greatness, and I felt as though I gritted my teeth and I reminded myself of Sisyphus, and I was like, fuck you. I can do this. I'm gonna fucking smile and roll this goddamn boulder. And I did. And then in 2020, I came back and broke the open all-time world record for the first time. And between that September of 2020 and March of 2023, every competition I had done thereafter, I broke it a consecutive 8 times. So
Wow.
I really like it's the reason that because that's my own story. And the reason that I can like speak to this perspective where it's like having to either choose humility or be given humility by the universe, it's much easier to choose humility and realism and just take it day by day because at some point you're going to have to. Because even if none of that stuff happened to me, none of that stuff, none of the stuff that when I was a kid, none of the stuff when I got injured, none of the stuff when I've recently been injured or gotten sick or whatever. It's like, who knows? Because I'm sure like there's going to be more stuff that pops up as I get into my 40s and 50s. But we all are ruled by whatever is happening around us and by our own health and by our ability. And the only thing that we can fall back on is that day to day decision making. Am I going to be proud of what I did today, tomorrow? And if you can say yes to that, and if you have a lot of tomorrows to follow, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's why my whole branding is, if anybody can read this, it's gratitude, grateful for the day, because like you never know what's going to happen, and you have to savor and be grateful, be appreciative of all of the good stuff, and even find gratitude and sustenance and happiness and fulfillment in the bad stuff. Because if you get injured, if you get hurt, if your fucking girlfriend breaks up with you, whatever bad can happen, it's bad in the moment and it hurts, but it's also a gift of something. It's giving you humility. It's giving you perspective. It's teaching you patience. It's giving you strength, whatever. It's like even bringing it back to power slap, like some guys, you can tell what type of a person an athlete is when they lose. Because if someone loses and then they spiral, that tells you who they are. If they lose and then they get a fire lit under their ass and they're like, okay, I'll take that on the chin and I'm going to do everything within my power between now and the next one to never let that fucking happen again. That tells you who that person is. Loser and losing and loss and failure and like falling short, that's always going to be a better teacher than stepping up on the podium or getting handed a belt.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. First of all, man, that was awesome. That made me, I literally started thinking in my own mind, you know, just how to like implement that attitude a bit better, going forward. When you were talking just now, it made me think of, remember when Connor finally lost to Nate and
Uh-huh.
I'll never forget it from the press conference. People couldn't get enough of him, right? So the press conference was over and they're still trying to interview him going down like an escalator. And the whole time he's like, nope, I'm going to take this loss. I'm coming back. I'll prove you guys. Like he was such a gentleman about it. I don't know. I don't know now. He's kind
Mhm.
of the energy has peaked, if you know what I'm saying, since that day.
Yes,
But
yes.
but he was so honest and like calm, and it's exactly what you're saying. He's on top of the world, and he 100% could have been like, "Fuck this! I'm lighting the world on fire. I'm the guy." Whatever. And he didn't. And we need to do that more, man. All of us. We need to realize, okay, this week or these 6 months or whatever the hell have been pretty terrible, but I'm not terrible. I can still be who I want to be and work towards it. So I love that, man. All right. Let's get into the whole power slap thing. Did you start out as a ref in like MMA or something and found your way? Did they just know you're this world record breaking guy and nobody you can't catch? Like, how does that happen?
No, so I train out of Dragon's Lair gym. It's the gym owned by Flex Lewis in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm a local out here. Me and Brianni, my wife, we moved out here in to February of 2021. So like right tail end of COVID, right when Dragons opened up. And we got in. I met Flex, like me and him are friends, and
Awesome.
we're close, like we're buddies. But I met Frank, the CEO of Power Slap, when he came in, and just like I'm a conversational guy. I'm a bullshitter. I'm the type of guy where it's like when Bree and I first moved here, and everybody, when you first moved to Vegas, you have that honeymoon phase where you go out to the bars a little bit too much because they're all accessible, and it's like, oh shit, you can do whatever you want. It's like we would go to the club. We would go to the club, and Bree would be like dancing with her girlfriends, and then I would walk around and then end up back at the table with like 10 business cards. And I'm like, I have a call with this guy, I have a call with this guy, I have a call with this guy, I have a call. Because I just like meeting people. I'm like, I'm that type of dude. But I hit it off with Frank. We were talking and like on good terms. And me and Flex were just talking about how it's a very cool thing, very exciting thing. I talked to him about how because I was a collegiate wrestler. I wrestled in college as well. I was an all-state wrestler in high school. Again, brother, I fucking miss combat sports. Like I would be more involved with this in a lot of ways if I could be. It's just the herniations in my neck. I'd fucking die. Like I can't. And it's like every time I'm up on stage, I'm like, oh, this would be so fucking cool, man. But I'm like, no, don't. I'll. But like I met Frank, talked to Flex, just basic like bullshitting, just like interpersonal, like conversational stuff. But then that was like 6 months prior. And then 3 months after that, I started coaching Jay Nova. You know Jay Nova?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the big catcher. If you guys watch, it's me, Jay, who is JHAY, with who always wears the shoes, and then Big J, who's
Yes,
the
sir.
white dude who's like 340 pounds, like big, just humongous. He's a strong man and a power lifter. I started coaching him. And in coaching him, I can't remember what number it was. I think it was 12. Power Slap 12 or 13, probably 12 or 11. I don't know. But for some reason, they needed a catcher on short notice. And Jay texted me and he's like, hey, Frank asked me to get a hold of you. Do you think like you're like really good in front of people? You're not scared to be in front of a crowd and you're a good dude. Like, would you want to hop in and do this? And I'm like, sure, fuck it, and I did it. And then I met the crew and they're all like, oh, we like Joe. Joe's a cool dude. And I'm like, all right, now this is just another little thing that I put on the resume,
Dude, I love that. And that's the best way things come together. They just come together. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And dude, believe me,
So you've been able to,
I love this fucking sport. Like people
I know it's
look
kind of
at
hard
it
to
as
say,
like one
right?
of the
Like,
most insane things.
is this just something fun that you do? Or is there a way that you could like be a career guy doing this? Does that make sense?
Dude, and I was literally just kind of saying that because it's like again, gratitude. It's how I try to approach all this stuff. But I'm super grateful and super fortunate to like get in on the ground floor, like because this is what like this 2.5, 3 years in maybe, like if there's opportunity, like even because I have my strength and conditioning cert, like if the training camps ever get bigger, or if like there's coaching stuff that's needed, or if there's some type of crossover or as it evolves, I am very excited to evolve and grow with it because I love this shit, dude. Like I miss participating in combat sports. Like I really do. Cause I have people, like I put a question box up on my Instagram the other day, and I had a bunch of people, cause like people follow me from Power Slap, and people that like know me from the fitness world, like watch Power Slap too. And a bunch of people were like, would you ever do it? And I'm like, dude, I can't say yes because my neck's fucked up. And it's like, I know that would fuck me up.
Yeah.
But if
And
we were in a
you're not
vacuum,
bullshitting either, man. There's literally a clip that shows why. Do you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yes, exactly. And it's like but if we were in a vacuum and I was 100% healthy and had like a new body at 20 years old, you can be goddamn sure I'd be fucking doing this, man. Like it's incredible. It's like one of the most exciting. It's the highlights of most combat sports condensed into a 10-second clip. It's fucking crazy, bro. Like I love it. And even just in whatever capacity, basically in whatever capacity Power Slap wants me, I'd be fucking stoked to be there, because it's just a great organization to be involved with. And I love all the dudes, like it's all the athletes are fucking cool. And it's just, I haven't had any negative experiences thus far. And I can't imagine that there would be one. I'm excited for this upcoming year because I know we got a bunch of freaking events locked down on the calendar.
Yeah, dude. I was talking with Sin, and we were talking that, like, when we had those back to back to back cards, how it was kind of like chaotic. I mean, I'm just the jack off podcaster that likes the sport, and it was fucking crazy. Like scheduling people, it was nuts. And Sin just laughed, and he's like, bro, I hope they give me these 12 dates like ahead of time, because he's like, you don't know what I can pull off. And I literally got the chills. I was so excited. So
Yeah,
I can't wait for the upcoming year. And dude, there's no excuse now. If you don't have $8 to subscribe to watch all the shit, I
100%.
mean this with love. Maybe we work on that first, but for everybody else, there's no excuse not to tune in. It's going to be awesome. And Power Slap is awkward. It is nichey, but when my wife sits down to watch a combat anything, motherfucker, you got something.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 100%. And even Brianni, she look, if you haven't met Brie, have you, Joe?
I haven't yet. No.
Okay, like you'll love her, but there's a reason that I love her. She's one of the most fiery motherfuckers on the planet. She'll look at you and be like, you're a fucking idiot. Like, what the fuck are you doing? She's just a very blunt lady, and I love her for it. But up to her actually attending one, she would watch Power Slap and she'd be like, this is the stupidest fuck, I can't even believe, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, okay, everybody says that. And I'm like, just because she's a pro bodybuilder. She's an IFBB pro. So she was in season. So she wasn't able to go to any of the events except the last one that we had in Vegas. And finally, when she came, I'm like, just wait. When you go to one, you'll get it. When you'll go to one, you'll get it. When you go to one, you'll get it. And then she went there and she was like, okay, when's the next one? And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, I told.
You have to, if you see it live and you still don't like it, okay, fair. It's not your thing. Totally get it. But bro, I replayed this clip. It's been some months now, but forget Pillow Fight Championship. Forget all this weird other stuff. There's an actual sport where they tie rubber bands around each other's ears, and it's called ear pulling. Dude, I saw that and I reposted it on and I said, I don't want to hear any more shit about Power Slap. Like, people paid to watch this. I mean, at least we have spotlights and shit. I mean, come on, man.
Dude, 100%, 100%. And what people don't understand, and obviously this is because like we are on like year 2 going into year 3 there, and I've only been a part of it for like 6, 7, 8 months now. It's in its infancy. There's a lot of novelty and like newness to it. Whereas like there are people who get hit with like a clubbing foul, step the foot, like they don't know the technique, and they also don't know how to brace. They don't know how to like take the hit well. But as we get, it's the same thing with powerlifting, because the world records that were on the board in 2015 are obliterated compared to what is now, because as sports get bigger talent pools, like talent gets larger and wider, the depth of talent gets deeper, and then like the science and the actual theory related to training, to nutrition, blah blah blah, all of that stuff gets better and better. The performance goes up and up. It's exactly what we're going to see in Power Slap, because this is like, dude, this is where like I'm not the guy to pitch myself, but I'm like, I fucking think about this stuff. I've taught like throwers and like boxers and stuff. It's like, if there needs to be, or there will be, and I know that we're seeing it and in the process of seeing it, but like different techniques to throw the slap, like aiming at different portions of the face and the head to get different effects. There's different techniques to brace, because even like speaking with, because I'm again conversational guy, talking to some of the athletes and saying like, do you even know what the Valsalva maneuver is? And some of them having no idea what that is. And I don't even like, Joe, do you know what the Valsalva maneuver is?
I don't.
It's it's the bracing technique designed by Air Force pilots to resist G forces, where you expand your abdomen using oxygen and oblique abdomen and paraspinal tension to create a cylinder of air and muscle, essentially, to create a more rigid torso, to take impact, force, whatever. They designed it, or they theorized this is what would work to prevent G forces from overcoming the body and you passing out, because the blood leaves your brain and you literally like lose oxygen and pass out. Who bastardized and incorporated the Valsalva maneuver to great effect to move more weight and to keep the spine more stable while generating more force? Powerlifters. Where could we see incredible application of the Valsalva maneuver? In Power Slap. But there are people
Yeah.
who don't even know these like foundational elements of like strength training, strength and conditioning training, or performance physiology. And it's I don't want to say it's untapped, but there's a lot of low hanging fruit. And that's why I'm very, very excited. And even if I'm not the guy to like be the dude, even if I'm just fucking Joe Catcher from to the end of time, whatever, I am thrilled to see what we're going to see as people get more and more proficient at utilizing different actual techniques and different performance methodologies to get more out of the slaps, but also the defenses.
Yeah. There we go. You're back. No, dude, it's interesting, right? Because there are these little nuggets, and I can only imagine the excitement you feel knowing that you've got some of these little insights, excuse me, that people haven't heard. And what's crazy for me to think about is, as the sport grows, like you said, it's just in its infancy, dude. Once guys start catching on, like powerlifters, like D1 football guys, once that catches on, that's where it's going to be such incredible entertainment for combat fans, but also it's going to make the competitors rethink what they're doing, how they are training, how they are, doing different things. Because you take a guy like Zakir, right? Strong as
Mm-hmm.
fuck. I mean, literally is lifting
Mm-hmm.
cars and, the metaphorical house, right? Imagine when that guy, and Zakir's awesome, love him. Imagine if he had some of those insights and had some time to work those insights before he got up there. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. It's that concept of low hanging fruit and taking something that's like as fundamentally powerful as a nuclear explosion, but not as chaotic and disorganized, taking like something that's this big explosion and turning it into a fucking laser beam
Yeah.
aimed at the guy's head. It's like, what happens then, you know?
Yeah, 100%, dude. Uh, well, hey, Joe, man, I could talk to you for, I'm not kidding, probably another 4 hours.
That's game, bro. This is just what I do, but I appreciate it, man.
No, man, this was so much fun, dude. I'm so happy you came on. Like, luckily, because, people that are kind of making content around this sport that's so new, luckily and thankfully and gratefully, a lot of the strikers and guys are so accessible. So, You want to interview them as much as possible, the guys that want to be interviewed. And I love that we're able to get a little bit outside the box a little bit and have guys like you on to talk about your background and about the sport and just getting to know people like you a little bit better, man. I'm grateful you came on.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. I'm grateful to be here. I appreciate it. And it just to talk about the catching a little bit. It's like me, Jay and Jay, like all three of us, like we all take it incredibly seriously because like there's people that like say like, oh, these guys are fucking sleeping or like they let everybody like, why the fuck are they there? And blah, blah, blah. But it's like as the sport gets more and more refined, everything gets more refined. And like the last two events, we've had no misses. And like, I'm really proud of me and my guys for doing that. And it's like, we're all grateful to be there because it's like, it's a brutal, barbaric thing. But if we're able to make it just a little bit more safe, I'm proud of that fact, dude.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I'm glad we can give you a platform to say those things because you're right. People give people shit when they don't understand, and they'll continue to do that even when they do understand. But at least we have a platform now where you can be like, look, dude, we're doing our job, doing it the best we can. We're taking it serious as you should, and the world needs to hear that.
Yep, absolutely, man. We all been on the internet long enough to know that people are always going to have an opinion, so it's whatever, bro. But I
That's right.
appreciate you having me on, dude. Well, it's been a blast.
Yeah, all right, man. Well, hey, we'll hang out for a bit and let this bitch upload. Where can everyone find you? Get coached by you? Get the inside track on their body, what they need to do? Where can they find you on social?
I'm on Instagram. It's Joe Sullivan _AOD. Everywhere else, basically the easiest way to find me is just on the website. It's theaodcollective.com. I sell supplements. I have my own supplement line, have my own, have like a bunch of apparel, but they're non-androgenic interventions to make you healthier, make you happier, make you live longer and have better longevity. It's on my website. So just theaodcollective.com stands for adapt or die. It's Joe Sullivan everywhere else. Appreciate you guys. DM me if you do DM me podcast so I know where you're coming from because I have a little automation set up. So I just hit me with that podcast word and I'll actually be able to be like, hey, thanks for tuning into this. So I know where you are.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, everybody. theaodcollective.com. Get your life in order. Get healthy. Joe, let's hang out for a bit while this bitch uploads.
Yep. Sounds good, dude.